I've got to press a damn button. Hello everyone, I'm High Treason. Welcome back to The Long Drive. Let's play it. Part 66.6. We are at 390k, so 440 is the target. I still think UFOs are a bit cheaty, personally. I don't know for sure, but they just feel that way to me. So that was a drive. Plus fact, in this hot weather, I don't really want to leave my PC running with a graphically intense application. It won't do the PC in theory, but it'd probably do me in. What really gets me with this house is like, it's so drafty in winter, but in summer you just can't remove the heat. It's like when it cools down, you open the doors at both ends of the house, and you can feel this barrier of hot air, and it just doesn't fucking move. And it's like, the air quality is noticeably bad in this building. And it doesn't help that what's plugging the walls up is like off-gassing like toxic fumes. So, you know, you're not really in good shape, you know? Okay, so we are about to pass, yeah, it would have not quite lined up at this building, I guess. So there is that. I don't need anything. Well, I need sun visors, but we won't find them in there. I'm still kind of baffled by that time our car flipped itself back over, like it was on its roof and then it just suddenly went back on the wheels. Or did I dream that? Well, in any case, either now or in 2K's time, we're crossing over to 3800. So, yeah, we're going to be, we're putting it down, you know. Only about 1200k to go now. Is it sinking in yet? Is it sinking in that we're nearly at the end, like in the grand scheme of things? I mean, in theory, you know, we're not quite 4/5 of the way there, but we're very close. I mean, if we were lucky and we get like a super short road, then maybe we might be more, you know. Like I say, I've heard of roads that are a lot shorter for some reason. But these might be people who cut over the desert, like, you know, if we'd have kept going across these hills here and rejoined the road, like, instead of following it round. But yeah, like I said, I don't think you want UFOs, you know. I think it's cool to fly it once and just be like, yeah, we're flying a spaceship. But it doesn't have that adventure aspect that the car does. Like, there's no challenge to flying the UFO, you just follow the road below. Or even then you just, like, basically line up with the road and just press the gas. And occasionally, you know, adjust your height a little bit. Well, I'm sorry, Rabbit, you shouldn't have fucking spawned into reality there, should you? I have no sympathy. Lots and lots of boats out this way. Tons of boats. There's a fucking ship graveyard we're in. Those poor boats. Like, what did they ever do to deserve this? I guess boats are pretty useless in this world. They're probably a good place to live though, like when you think about it. I mean, you say, oh yeah, but people raid them. Well, we raid every house we find near enough. They're one of our prime stops. The boats, a lot of them are quite far out in the desert, so a lot of people ain't going to come out there, and you would hear them coming, like I say, it's pretty quiet. Plus, they're fucking boats, I mean, you know, what's anyone going to do to you? It's designed in such a way that it would be very easy to modify it to basically just be lethal to anyone who tried entering. So, yeah, I think getting one of them boats and just tweaking it would be your best bet for living in this desert. The only worry would be how hot would the metal get in the sun. But would it really be any worse than a house, you know, in this sort of environment? I do feel like this is a world where any Archon system that might have existed is like long defunct now, you know. And people are just stripping them down for parts. I find it ominous with the Archon units how they have all these warnings about, you know, Zigas may be odorless, Zigas is explosive. It's like, man, you know, if that leaks, you really are trusting the courier to get it here and not break it. Otherwise my house is going to go kaboom. I don't think it'll happen, because you just don't generally hear about Archon units blowing up, do you? Like, it doesn't seem like a very common occurrence. Keep in mind, I come from a country where they're exceptionally rare. Not a lot of places have Archon in the UK. I don't know why. I think it should be mandated that at least one room should have it on any house that's been refurbished by landlords or, you know, housing association, whatevers. Like, if you are refurbishing the house, you should have to fit it to at least one room. Because not having it in this fucking era is ridiculous. And I'm sure they'll do it for, it'll be some bullshit reason, like, oh, the energy consumption, we're trying to protect the environment. It's like, well, you know, yeah, sure, but the environment's been very hostile to me. And I sort of don't care as much when I am suffering and my health is suffering from being sat in a room that is like way above body temperature, which I am fairly sure cannot be good for you. Plus the fact your Archon doesn't run constantly, you know, it's... People put these shit little fans all over the place, and that's got to be like eating up like a lot of electricity collectively. Whereas your Archon, it's not running the compressor like all the fucking time. Even car Archon doesn't. You know, car Archon seems to thrash the system pretty hard. And even those, you can, like, if you listen to the engine and everything, you can hear like there's an electric clutch on them usually that is engaging and disengaging the compressor. So it's not like they're running fucking constantly. So, you know, I definitely think they're a good thing. We need them. We need more of them in this nation. People are really, you know, they don't like it. So, you know, it's fucking filthy yank wannabe. It's like, well, not really. I just don't like feeling shit, like, in my house. And you can't always rely on, oh, just stand outside, because sometimes it's even hotter out there. And, you know, when every fucker who's ever worked on this house has made it worse and worse for these kinds of conditions, because they're idiots and they're free stuff. There was probably no one living here, so the council probably just came and did it. I'm the first real resident here since at least '94, and I actually think since the '80s, if not sooner, just because, you know, my repair receipts don't go back before then. Like, there's a load of them I found down the back of the kitchen cabinets, and it's a different resident's name every year. But we all knew these were boot houses. We should take this Plymouth, maybe. Well, it looks like a pink stripe. There's no such variant. Overall, it's not in terrible condition, but do we really want to be taking this? It has loads of water in it. If it has petrol, we'll take it. It doesn't have petrol. Well, then we're not taking it, I'm afraid. We will stick to our current car. I'm still tempted to put one of these in a bus. Like, the temptation is there to do it. That's full of diesel. Well, there's nothing I need here, so we're going to keep going. I guess the only car we have left to drive really now is the Trabant. It's the only one we haven't driven. And the bus. And I actually kind of like the idea that if we're going to carry a V8 engine around to stick in a bus in the vain hopes it can make it go up mountains, that it would be a Trabant that's pulling this fucking huge engine along in it. Like, that would be kind of funny to me, so... Yeah, we won't do that yet, you know. So that's kind of the plan, I think, now. Find a Trabant. And once we've found a Trabant, find a V8 engine from a Plymouth, try and wedge it in a basket somehow, and then try and wedge the engine into a bus and try driving a bus. I mean, if we only went to like 250k on each car, we would be only, like what, 4 or 5 cars like left. As it is, we go farther than that usually, so we might have only 2 cars after this before we reach the end of the road. So this actually could work out very, very nicely. So I guess starting now, we are sort of on the lookout for a Trabant, but I'd kind of like to wait until the next part to change car. Why are we so slow? It's not that steep, is it? Is it? Yeah, not super. It's just not fast in the hills, this car. It's a heavy car. I don't hate it as much as I used to, but it hasn't done what the 2101 did, where I was like, oh no, it's actually an alright sort of car. This one still leans to one side, and it has sort of, just reinforced my belief that it's not a very good car in this game, the 2105. I've said it before, I like this car in real life. It definitely tilts to the fucking right hand side. It's not a glove box doing it, because there shouldn't be enough weight in there to really be affecting it. I don't know. Fuck knows. You just get cars that are buggy sometimes, maybe that's what's going on. I really couldn't tell you. But it doesn't matter, it doesn't seem to be affecting the handling, really, any. It is what it is, It's the car's done its job. It has got us out here. We've been with this car for, over 400k really, by the time this part's done. But we are averaging upwards of 500k, so like I say, that wasn't far. That really wasn't far. We lost a headlight. I'll try to find it. Of course, it's getting dark, so now we need them. Holy crap, where did it go? They might just be gone, Never replaced the sun visors. I mean, it would have been that rock there that we biffed. Yeah, I don't know. We'll fall asleep and see what tomorrow brings. I'm sure we can find another one. You can't fit round ones in square holes and vice versa. Jeez, it's not helping that the sun still isn't really up very much. It's not where I am in real life either. I thought I spotted it then. Do this, cheeky as it may be. I sort of feel like, well, I just lost it, Well, that's a bit crappy. I'm not seeing it out here. Could it have flown a great distance? I'm sure it could, but define a great distance, What was that? There was objects there. Oh, it's just them rocks again, isn't it? I don't know what that is over there, though. There is definitely something. Did I lose hubcap? When did I lose that? Yeah, I did lose hubcaps. Well, I'm not too worried about missing a fucking headlight, really, because we don't really use them, but it's a bit crappy. Where's the other one? They're very difficult to spot. Because in theory, if the headlights, it should be around here somewhere. I don't think we're going to find it. I think it's just gone. We might have lost more off this car than any other car that we've had. Yeah, it definitely leans this way. Just look in the wheel arches and you can sort of see it. It's just a little. Yeah, I'm not seeing it nowhere. Yeah, now we're rolling back. I'm not seeing it anywhere. There's something over that way. So we can... well, I'm sure that's just a rock. Yeah, I can't see how it could be anything but a rock. Is it's lost, I believe. Okay, well, we tried to get it back. We failed. We'll keep driving, maybe find another one. In all fairness, that crash could have been a lot worse. I think I handled it fairly well, given we were going at quite a speed. The rock that I first tried to avoid really came out of nowhere, and the second rock I did manage to really just graze it, so all in all I don't think we did too bad. I'm not really that upset when the car's missing one or two things when it retires. It always seems to work out that way, but you know, I'm not too upset by it, because it does sort of show the scars of like, hey, this car took us through this really sort of hostile terrain. You know, we have one headlight. If it gets that bad, you stick a basket on the front and you drop the little flashlight in it, the little black light. So it really isn't the end of the world. Would be neat if like the aliens could make it permanent night for like a certain, well, not permanent, but you know, extend the night somehow. Like you would, you know, have aliens in the distance and the sun would just not come up for ages. Could be pretty fun, you know, you sleep and it just doesn't get bright. What was that? The light could be in the car, you know. I'm starting to wonder, because I keep hearing things. I'm probably just hearing the terrain trying to rip my muffler off and put holes in the bottom of my oil pan. I don't know, I think this engine sits quite high. It does look decidedly out of place when it's in this car, but well, you know, it's doing its job and it does it better than the original. That original engine is weak. That original engine is really weak. I don't know why people say, oh, it's stronger than the 2101 engine. It bloody isn't. There's no way that engine's stronger. It's fucking slower. It doesn't seem to really get any more torque either. Right. Who knows? There might be headlights in here. Whoa. I saw lights then. What's that? If that's a Dacia, we'll steal off it. It is. Does it have square headlights though? Are there any stray ones in here? You used to see them in these all the time, stray headlights. It really does seem like the spawning has been dialed down something ridiculous in the newest build of the game. And like I said, I think it's a little bit too low, like really. It's not loads and loads too low, but it could do with, you know, turning up just a little bit. That is an AM radio, wow. I like the Lancaster it. I think there's a crow on my chimney. I like crows. There's this one round here that hates me. I had to hit it last year because it kept attacking me. Like it would fly its young down in my garden while I was working there and then get angry at me. So in the end I just fucking hit it when it was fucking dive bombing me. I was just like, no, fuck you. And it sort of fell out the arse, so I gave it a swift kick. It was fine, they're tough birds, it didn't harm it any. I didn't really feel good about doing it, but it's like, hey, you know, I'm the dominant species on this planet. I won't be run off my property by wild animals. You can forget about that shit. No headlights. Wow, it's making a lot of smoke. There's a German engine. It's not going to be very efficient, is it? Especially not in this fucking lump. German engine, Russian car, made in fucking Egypt. Yeah. Yeah, there's no wonder this thing's not that good. People do have a real hard-on for German cars. I'll never, because they're fucking terrible and they're expensive. I say, when you want to buy a BMW, you buy like a Vauxhall Astra for like a much lower price. It does the same job. You live in a city, you idiot. Well, it's not even like you can break the speed limit. There's too much fucking traffic. So all it does is make you look like a dickhead, you know. I think a lot of the time you should just immediately have to retake your driving test, because people who buy them more often than not can't fucking drive. So either the cars handle bad, or there's just a certain sort of person that buys them that just doesn't know how roads are supposed to work. Plus the indicators never seem to work in them either, so, you know, they obviously have electrical problems or something, I guess. Or maybe the drivers just don't use them. You can at least stick your arm out the window if they are broken. I'm on a bike and I see it manage just fine. Grass biome. How long until we crash? We nearly hit a rock there. Well, no, the only reason we didn't is because it was too short. We are making it towards target distance. We only have about 13k to go. And we will be on target. That was another rock. Can't see them so good in this biome. They're dangerous grass biomes, they really are. So barren, so desolate. They really are, I think, the most boringest biome in the game, these grass ones. And in that seed where I drove to the end of the world, it had a real thing for them. It just kept giving me like these endless grass biomes. Like after a while, and I was just like, oh, fuck off. And then for the last few 100k, it was nothing but like deserts and mountains. And that I was alright with, you know, the desert. I like the Pearl Deserts. I don't know why I like them, I just like the Pearl Desert. And then I like the snow biome. And I like what I call the quarry biome, that dark, muddy one. That you really don't seem to get very often. It always seems to have really extreme roads in it for some reason. So things you think you want a 4x4 to drive on, you know. Now you can tell the sun's giving up my hay fever's starting to get angry with me. Okay, yeah, we have 9k to go to our target. So we're doing alright. We're doing okay so far. Something is bound to go wrong, but fuck off, rabbit. But we're getting there, we're moving down the road, and that's what matters for now. And just think, kiddies, you'll soon be able to see your grandma. And you're not allowed to go on the seaside when we get there, because we didn't bring a change of clothes. And also I've seen that Parvy man with his camera, I've heard he's down there again. And so, you know, I don't really want to let him snap photos of you. Plus you keep touching your sister and they might call the cops about that, and that just ain't on, you know. I've told you about doing that sort of stuff in public. You can't be doing that. You know. Oh, is this another building? It won't have headlights in it. They're so rare now, like the car accessories. I actually think it's broken. I think he's broken it. Oh, that's the square headlight one. Excellent. Yeah, Dacias, I don't think we'll be driving another one until we're on our way home. But the shape of the back end of them is so weird. These aren't the same, are they? No, but it's close enough that at least gives us a... Fuck it, I'd rather have none than have that piece of shit. It's in such good condition, this car. Wow. I'm impressed by just how good a shape it's in. Almost makes me want to drive it. When we do drive one of those again, we will try putting Plymouth wheels on it and see if it either makes it into an unstable mess or makes it actually drive like better. Because I really can't say. Well, whoever was in this place really had a thing for Dacias. Is it? No, it's a gun. I don't want that. Yeah, I'm convinced headlights don't spawn on anything but cars. Same with mirrors and even sun visors. I have not seen them spawn anywhere that isn't a car in such a long time. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. You know, I don't dawdle around the buildings as much when I'm recording, just because I don't think you want to see it, do you? You know, it's not real great just rummaging about. It's nice to stop and look around, but we don't want to be doing that for like 30 minutes at a time, which, you know, if I wasn't recording, I'd be quite happy to do. Yeah, I never noticed before that those headlights are different. I think they're the only two square headlighted cars in the game, so... and neither of them I'm that keen on. Hopefully that didn't rip anything off my fucking car. Well, it looks like it's turning real slow, that fan. I mean, in reality, it doesn't need to turn because we're travelling quite a good speed. This should be forcing a good amount of air through that radiator. I definitely don't see any AC red in there, any AC coil. We ain't air conditioned. It must be horrible setting this fucking boiling box. Okay. 3k to go. We're up on target with for a few minutes left. So we might be doing alright by the end of this. You know, this old car, it's done us fine. In the end, it was a very, very shit start. And it arguably added a whole hour of our time. And I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to add that time and add an episode number. And I'm going to wait and see until I get to the end as to whether doing that or not would make me win the bet. Of course, the moral thing to do would be to add it. But I haven't listed the episode, I would think, just because, you know, I think it's really, really boring. More boring than usual. So, you know, it's like extra optional watching that one. I don't consider it part of the series, and that's why you have 61A. And part 61 will just, you know, 61B we'll just put in the list as part 61, and I'll tell you in the video, you know, what you can do. I mean, the odds of me winning my bets, I know I had another one that I can't even remember. I was doing it in less than 4,500 minutes, I think, the other one. So I'm still pretty certain I can do. It's a gutted Trabant. But have a look, see if we see a headlight that I don't... Like I say, I've not seen them in so long, like spawning on their own. I'm really convinced that they just don't do that anymore. Weird noises at the back of it. It's almost like we're getting a tiny bit of slip on one of the wheels. Do you mind clouds? I'm trying to see where I'm going. Fucking hell. You know, this happened last time when I got real far out like this, the clouds started like darkening things more. I guess we're going to be driving over, that might be a snow mountain though, so that'd be nice to see. We seem to be getting buildings at a more regular interval now. And cars at a more regular... And I did say, didn't I, that I'd noticed last time, when I got like to the last 1000k, we started seeing them more. Again, it is a bit odd. I really don't know if it's all intentional, or if it's pure chance, or if it's just the game being weird. And, you know, the game does a fair bit of being weird. I seem to be able to grab the reins quite well on this game compared to a lot of people. You know, a lot of people seem to have a bit of a rough time with it, and it doesn't seem to behave quite as well for them as maybe it does for me. Maybe it's something to do with me being used to playing older games on older PCs where, you know, it wasn't uncommon to have dodgy, weird, fucking broken things happening from time to time, and you just had to live with it. Maybe that's where it comes from, I don't know. A lot of these people, I think, are kind of upstarts compared to us, you know. We're a bunch of old fags now. So, do people use that word anymore? Yeah, of course, we're a bunch of old-timers and we've been doing this shit for long enough that it's not really as much of a problem to us, like these sort of things. I guess we're kind of used to it. So yeah, I do seem to be able to wrangle this game into doing what I want, like, with a reasonable degree of success. Oh, come off it! Something will have come off from it. Well, the hubcap's gone. If we only lose one hubcap, I'll be amazed. I thought at least the radiator would go with that. That hubcap's probably no longer in existence, I wouldn't think. I'm not seeing it. I'm not really going to look for... Oh. There we go. Well, I might as well grab it because it's right fucking there. Do we not lose a radio or something? I'm kind of surprised. I mean, that was a physics bug what we had there, most definitely. Was that a rock we hit? It didn't look that big from the other side, did it? Who fucking knows? Ah, no, we lost a wing mirror. Oh god, I'm not looking for... You can fuck off. Like, we'd just be stopping every fucking constantly in this part. That is going to be one of them shitty little gas stations. I'm not going out to it. There's a building there that might have something that's more useful to us. Probably not, but we'll see as we drive by, because now we need a mirror. And sun visors. And a headlight. The end of this car's run has been quite painful. Well, there's been very, very cruel to it all of a sudden for some reason. Now this would be a shitty little building. As I said, there's a bit of method in my madness not stopping at all the shitty little buildings, just because, you know, we might need them on the way back. They don't tend to have a lot of stuff in them, but they do have little bits of fuel and stuff, and it might just be enough that it'll get us home. Right, these we'll look in, because I do remember headlights spawning in these. Why is this offset? It's like we've been in here already. I assure you we haven't. And you'll obviously know this by the other buildings, because, you know, we would have had to go past those to get to this one. It's just a hose. I'll give you a hose, missus. There you go. Don't fucking piss back at me, that's rude. Did I just take damage then? I don't see headlight. I swear they're rigged to not spawn any. That is unusual now. That is the first wheel I've seen spawn with a hubcap like that in I don't know how long. So maybe everything else still can spawn, it's just super, super raw now. And somehow, despite all that speed and everything, we have barely made it over target. Which I'm honestly surprised at. But yeah, building density does seem to be quite high all of a sudden. We seem to just be seeing more of them again. So now, if I remember rightly, that will be like a constant up and down where we'll have like these little clusters where there's a lot of buildings and then another little cluster where you just don't see a building for fucking ages again. I mean, the last stretch of road when I did drive to the end had so many cars and stuff that were just around, like... You know, one of them took me out. It was right near the end. It was in like the last 5k of the road. There was this big downhill slope on a mountain, and a bus spawned under the road, and just the very corner of it poked through, and it hit me as I went over it, and it just fucking totaled everything. I think it might even have killed me, because if you crash hard enough, it will kill you. I guess the contractors just wanted to go home by the time they got to this end of the road, you know. Who put the road in anyway? Like, and why? How old is it? I mean, someone's clearly been maintaining it, so, you know, who's doing this? Is it our player dude who's doing all the work? Is he paying them to do it? I don't know. I mean, I've heard all kinds of like theories about you driving on the bottom of what was the Atlantic Ocean. The road is like not real. It's all like a sort of the guy's died and it's like about life or something. And I don't fucking know. Who cares? Like, interpret it the way you want. And some of it is pretty cool to listen to, but maybe I'm a bit bored and I just think it's a road. Like, you know. It's a really long road and you drive cars on it. That's all I've got. And it represents his journey from his house to, well, the other end of the road. That's it. Okay, we don't have very long left now. This might be a bit gnarly. That's another one of these. Why are you spawning me so many of these fucking things? We'll breeze through and we'll sort of try and spot if there's anything. I don't see anything. Oh, that was smoother than I thought it would be. Water tower, I haven't seen one of them in a while. Yeah, this is the sort of fucking terrain we start seeing out here. Like, we can see it's getting, is getting pretty gnarly now, isn't it, in places? You might be lucky this road might sweep around, like, the massive dips and everything, but we are going to be driving on this kind of stuff more and more now, and, you know, we're going to have to get used to it. We are reaching a point where I don't think I can lead foot it anymore. I really am amazed that we've gotten away with it for so fucking long. The good thing is, driving home, it should actually get progressively easier past the point. Yeah, don't be surprised if this road turns again and like goes down there or something. Like, you never know what it's going to do. Like, at this stage, it's couldn't make out where it was going then. I mean, you don't want to hit something and go flying off the edge there, because the car will just roll and roll and roll. I think we've seen it happen a bit already. And we don't want to be getting like that, because if the front digs in, it will flip over like ass fast. Okay, we're just looking for a building now and we'll be signing off. Haha. Hopefully nothing goes wrong in the next few minutes. I mean, it's doing a decent speed, you know, we've pulled a decent fucking chunk. We've actually made it decently over target by now as well. It seems we just really pull it out in the last few minutes somehow. I pull it out at concerts and funerals and stuff, like, you know, in front of my family at parties. And they just look on proudly like, yeah, is definitely worthy to carry our name, this dude. Oh, this is where we'll stop then. There we go. It loves sliding its arse, this car. It's like one of them dogs. You see them dragging their butt on the carpet. We'll have a look in the building because we technically have a couple of minutes. I probably could have gone one more building, but I'm happy to just call it here. And to be honest, I've had enough for today. I need to start winding down to go to bed. I need to go and have a piss. I need to drink some more water so I can make more piss for later. And yeah, you know, it's life stuff. I don't see any headlights. I swear they're not spawning. I'm starting to think it is a bug. You know, maybe I should badger the developer about it or something. In any case, we're going to do a manual save. Oh, that is coming on quite strong now, actually, all of a sudden. Ugh. Are we on 6.3 or 6.4? We'll find out. We must be on 6.4. It's nice that it tells you. Okay, what distance has we done? I could have probably tallied it up, but in any case, we're still going to be in the 3,000s for now. Be over 3,800. 3,863. So we did a fair amount of Ks. That's like what, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70k. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm well happy with that. Oh well, thanks for watching. I'm High Treason. I'll see you in the next one. I guess we better get looking for a fucking Trabant or a V8 and a bus, whichever comes up fast.